So you really think that we didn't go to the moon? Well, that means a lot of money was spent to go nowhere. Welcome to Anything History, where we unravel the mysteries of the past and delve into the events that shaped our world. If you love tales of conspiracy, wonder, and discovery, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Today, we're tackling one of the most enduring conspiracy theories of our time. Did we really go to the moon? How do we know that we went to the moon? The moon landings have long been a source of wonder and inspiration, yet even 50 years later, some still question their authenticity. Despite every argument claiming that NASA faked the moon landings being discredited, conspiracy theories persist, discussed online, on television, and around dinner tables. But how do we truly know we went to the moon? Let's explore the undeniable evidence.
9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Yeah, so millions of dollars spent, and you think they were going where? Nowhere? Come on, think about that before you begin your doubts and conspiracies. Moon fact: with a powerful amateur telescope, you can see the Apollo landing sites. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter has even captured detailed images showing remnants of the Apollo missions. Were the moon landings faked? If you find yourself in a debate, questioning whether humankind first stepped on the moon on July 20th, 1969, you might feel unprepared. Most people take it as a given that the US government, NASA, the 12 astronauts who have walked on the moon, and the 400,000 people involved in the Apollo program wouldn't fake one of humanity's greatest achievements. Yet, some argue it was all a hoax. Common conspiracy arguments and their rebuttals. No stars in photos. One popular argument is that there are no stars in Apollo photos. Free from Earth's light pollution, shouldn't we see thousands of stars? However, all manned missions to the moon took place in the lunar daytime. The bright lunar surface outshines the faint starlight, making stars invisible in the photos. Both the astronauts and the lunar landscape itself are brightly lit by the sun. The sky may look black, but remember, this is in fact daytime on the moon. A better way to think about it is kinda in relation to why we don't clearly see stars in our own sky during the day. Crosshairs anomaly. Another argument is that crosshairs in many Apollo images sometimes appear behind objects, suggesting they were painted on. Tests show that brightly lit objects can easily be misinterpreted. Take this photo of a boat mast. It seems as though parts of it are behind the sun, but in reality we know that's not true. So the lighting in the moon pictures make the crosshairs appear fainter. When these images are copied or scanned, some details are lost, giving the illusion that the crosshairs are behind the objects. The sea on a moon rock. A photo from the Apollo 16 mission appears to show a rock with a sea on it, like a lettered movie prop. In the original photo, this anomaly isn't there. It was likely a piece of hair or thread introduced during copying. The fluttering flag. The American flag placed on the moon by Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin appears to flutter in the wind in some photos. With no wind on the moon, how is this possible? In reality, a horizontal rod at the top of the pole holds the flag unfurled, making it look like it's fluttering. The weak lunar gravity causes the flag to stay crumpled after being unfurled. Radiation and the Van Allen belts. The most convincing argument for some is the presence of the Van Allen belts, two donut-shaped belts of charged particles around Earth. Some believe astronauts couldn't have passed through without lethal radiation exposure. Before the Apollo missions, this was a concern. However, NASA protected the astronauts with an aluminum shell and a trajectory that minimized time spent in the belts. The average radiation exposure for Apollo astronauts was 0.46 radians, less than some nuclear energy workers, yet more than medical professionals working with X-rays. Shadows and photos prove the images were faked. Take a look at this image and look closely at the shadows cast by astronaut Neil Armstrong and another object just out of shot. What's wrong with them? They're not parallel. One of the arguments claimed that these shadows should be parallel due to the sun being a single light source and extremely far away. If shadows aren't perfectly parallel, they argue, it must be because the photos were taken on a set with artificial lighting. But the moon's surface is uneven, with craters, hills, and rocks creating a varied topography. When objects cast shadows on such a surface, the angles can appear distorted when viewed from different perspectives. This effect is similar to how parallel railway tracks seem to converge in the distance when viewed from the side. Because of perspective, parallel lines can easily appear to be non-parallel. If you're trying to put a three-dimensional image on a two-dimensional plane, you can make lines do all sorts of weird things. Artists have been using this for centuries, and this is a common effect in photography. So many photos taken on the moon were captured in a way and from perspectives that made shadows that were actually parallel appear to converge. Proof we walked on the moon. Despite anomalies sparking new claims, the sheer volume of evidence proves the moon landings. From the Apollo missions, there are 8,400 photos, thousands of hours of video, mountains of scientific data, and full transcripts of air-to-ground conversations. We also have 382 kilograms of lunar rocks, verified by labs worldwide. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, has taken high-resolution pictures of the landing sites, capturing the descent modules, rovers, and even astronauts' footprints. Spacecraft from China, India, and Japan have also confirmed these sites, providing further independent verification. Final nail in the coffin. A simple instrument, the Lunar Laser Ranging Retroreflector Array, was installed by Apollo 11. It reflects lasers back to Earth, allowing precise measurement of the distance to the moon. This would be impossible without visiting the moon. It's absolutely astonishing that despite overwhelming evidence, some still cling to moon landing hoax theories. In a world filled with legitimate mysteries and unsolved phenomena, blaming the moon landings on elaborate conspiracy theories diverts from the genuine achievements of human ingenuity. Every single argument that NASA faked the moon landings have been thoroughly debunked. People who still say that the US had never gone to the moon are most likely stirring up conversation for clicks and advertising income. Sadly, those who are still falling for the baseless conspiracy rhetoric are lining the pockets of the people who are really just in the business of creating clickbait stories to read and videos to watch. Let's come out of the foolishness and focus our curiosity on exploring new frontiers rather than rehashing debunked myths over and over again. Check us out in the next video on the screen.